The thing that makes Valorant so much different from CSGO is the utility. For those of you who've never played Counter-Strike, every player had the same buy menu. Everyone could buy smokes, flashes, mollies, everything. Everyone had the same options to buy whatever they wanted. And the thing that makes Valorant so much different is that each agent has their own utility, their own personality, and their own playstyle. But this makes everyone's lives so much more valuable and important to the team. If your Omen dies, you won't have smokes. If your Jett dies, no one can make space for you as well. And if Cypher dies, no one can watch flank, etc, etc, etc. But that's what makes Valorant special. It's a tactical shooter that requires a ton of teamwork and communication, where everyone has a job, and without each other, the game's going to be much harder to win. And without proper utility usage, you won't rank up very far. And that's what we're going to talk about today, how you can get the most bang for your buck when it comes to using your utility. Now, the most important part of utility usage isn't even the utility itself, it's about having good communication. And without it, no one's going to be on the same page, and you guys are going to be super uncoordinated. Something I noticed in a lot of lower elo gameplay is that nobody talks. But I don't understand this. Is it because everyone has like extreme social anxiety? Is it just that is it just the cool thing not to talk to anyone? When you first load into a game, it's always nice to start out with a simple hello or hey, what's up guys, or something silly, say something crazy, get people talking. Once people start talking, you can start formulating some form of game plan. I mean, just think about it. You guys all have the same goal, and that's to win. So why not work together and talk to each other? Especially in lower elos, I'd bet that the other team really isn't talking, so you would instantly have an advantage over them. Now before we get into the rest of the guide, I just want to say that if you're looking for guides for other things like specific agents or maps, we have those as well at Skocapt. We also have Smurf commentaries where Radiant level players talk through their games and show you how to use their utility to its fullest potential. Or maybe if you wanted to learn how to run a default or play a specific agent or just how to get better, we can help you with that too. We also have a rank improvement guarantee so that if you don't see your rank improving, you'll get your money back. But there's literally so much value here, I find it hard that you won't improve. If you're looking for the fastest way to climb in Valorant, be sure to check out Skocapt.com, link in the description below. Now, with each agent, they each have several abilities, some being more important than others. Let's look at Omen for example. His smokes are pretty good, his blind is arguably the most important piece of utility in the game, but his teleports are kind of situational. He gets one blind a round, but several smokes and teleports. This obviously means that the blind is super important and should be a major part of your game plan. And this is where that communication thing I talked about comes in. If you want to be a good Omen player, you need to tell your teammates when and where you're blinding. This is important because if your teammates don't know these things, crazy things can happen, like someone could walk in front of you and you could blind them, or perhaps your team runs in front of you before you can even use it and they'll have a harder time taking the site, and then therefore the round is a lot harder to win. Now this is the case for literally every agent in the game. For example, Jett's dash is her strongest tool. It basically gives her an extra life or all the space the team needs to enter a site. So as Jett, you need to tell your team when you're dashing and when you're going in. Then your teammates know when to flash and can communicate that back to you. And if you're feeling extra crazy, you can do all this talking during the buy round, and then boom, you have a plan. Now let's take a look at this round I've reviewed with the Sage and Icebox. The round starts and no one's talking at all. Skye is the first one in, the Reyna blind is wasted because the dude with the Marshall already got the shot off, not to mention, Sage is too far from her team, so even if her teammates did get shot, she can't be there to trade him off. And then to cap it all off, she uses her wall to block herself in, instead of using it to gain map control. Now, if you watched our recent Icebox map guide, we talk about how Sage's wall is extremely important to the team's success. Keep in mind guys, the wall is 400 credits and it is the most expensive piece of utility in the game. In this round, Sage is using it as a super expensive but even worse Cypher tripwire. Granted, she had the right idea, someone needs to watch the flank, but instead of using her wall, just having someone post it up there is usually good enough. Perhaps the player here is new to Sage, but if you're picking up a new agent, it's always good to watch some gameplay of higher tier players, copy what they do, so you don't look like a noob walling your flank. Something I want to talk about next, speaking of Sage's wall, is pistol round. Something that people don't seem to notice is the fact that people can't really do much with pistols. Like, even with Killjoy's nerf, her turret is still pretty strong. Sage's wall is impossible to shoot. Skye's heal is crazy good, it gets you a ton of health. And the same case can be made about a lot of agents and utilities on pistol round. But since you only have 800 credits on pistol round, you really need to think about what you can buy on round 1. You have to be pretty selective of what you have with most agents, and you probably want to be buying utility over a gun like a Ghost or a Frenzy. Notice how the Sage in round 1 isn't even buying her wall. Her wall soaks in a ton of damage, and if you manage to get it down on pistol round, the enemies are going to have a tough time fighting through and around it. And I see this all the time in high elos too, even in Immortal. I've seen Reyna's buy a Sheriff and not a blind, and Omen buy a Ghost and a Smoke, so he doesn't have his big blind. So you get the point. I even met a Brimstone who didn't buy a Molly round 1, but instead he insisted on buying a Ghost and a Stim Beacon. He told me that he was nutty with the Stimmed up Ghost. Like, I don't know about you guys, but buying a Molly would probably be a lot more useful. Just ask yourself before pistol round what you're buying and what's more important to the team. Something that people don't really think about either is how they're using their utility. For example, I've seen Razes throw their grenade in the same spot every round, a Sova shooting the dart in the same spot every round, a Sage auto-walling the same spot, like in tube every round. People just never really think about what they're doing and what they're defaulting, and is it really useful for what you're doing that round? It can make you very predictable, and you're just blowing money out the window every time you do this. You might as well just throw your utility off the map sometimes. Let's take a look at the next pistol round. Sage decides to buy her wall this time, but at the start of the round, instantly she uses it to wall tube. And I see this all the time. Yes, throwing your wall in tube is super fun, it's really strong, it's really cool, all the cool kids are doing it, but if nobody goes in the tube, what's the point? Like, nobody goes in there, you're not blocking anybody from taking the tube. Later in the round, the enemy team decides to hit the B site. Now, if Sage had her wall, she'd be able to wall off the site and delay long enough so her teammates can rotate over and sandwich them in. But instead, she wasted her wall in the tube and didn't have it for sight. Again, granted, if the enemy team tries to use the tube, then the wall is super useful, but honestly ask yourselves, when's the last time you guys have used mid for anything besides a lurk on Icebox? And how many times did you do it, like, more than once a game? You only do this like once a game, so like, what's the point, you know? I see people waste their utility all the time. I've watched Omens completely miss their blinds, Vipers miss their mollies, Raze throw random grenades that don't do much, but if people just took the time to calm down and line up what you're doing, you'd have a lot more positive impact in the round. Just think about the utility and just think. Just take a deep breath, think, and everything's going to be okay. I promise. So now, you got your utility super down. You know exactly where to throw things, you got the exact lineups. Now it's time to get a bit fancy. The cool thing about Valorant is not the utility itself, but the crazy amounts of combinations you can pull off with your teammates. Some of them require a bit more teamwork than others, but some are so simple yet so strong that you can pull them off with anyone. Let's go to Split, where Omen's blind is awesome in so many ways. You can combine his blind from sewers onto ramp, and after you throw the blind, your Jett teammate can dash up for an easy kill because the guy on ramp doesn't know what hit him. He just can't see anything all of a sudden. He's probably freaking out, yelling at his monitor. Or if you're Omen on defense, you can turn around while you're sitting rams and blind mid like so. Call this out to your teammates, and they can collapse on the enemies and take them by such a big surprise. Another one that I've seen pulled off is that you have a Killjoy and an Astra, and you both place your mollies and stars in the same exact spot. So when the enemy tries to enter the site, they get obliterated. They can't escape the molly, and they're just getting chewed away by your nano grenade. Or another popular one that I see in Korea is the Breach Jett combo flash and dash, where Breach flashes a certain spot, Jett dashes out and catches anybody off guard and gets a pretty couple easy kills. Or in Bind, I've seen a Breach stun U-Haul and the Raze will throw her grenade and double satchel in to get an easy kill with a shorty or a bucket or something. But I think you guys get my point. There's so many possible combinations that you can pull off in Valorant that it just makes the game what it is. So, what are you doing? Go get some buddies together, go hop in a custom game, and come up with some game plans. Try out some crazy things. Come on, go get wild. Try them out in a game, and go have some fun. Now, this is all just one in-depth guide that we have on our website, though. And if you want a chance at having your VOD reviewed, be sure to subscribe on our website at skillcap.com. We also have tons of Radiant Smurf commentaries where we have Radiant players walk you through exactly how to get the most out of your utility during the game, and they're super helpful to see in real time what goes through a top tier player's head. As you mentioned before, it's also backed by a rank improvement guarantee, and the reason why we do that is because we're just that confident that our service works. And if it doesn't work, you shouldn't pay. So what are you waiting for? You've got nothing to lose. Head on over to skillcap.com and get started on your way to that rank that you deserve. So, I hope you guys understand a bit better how you should be using your utility in games. It can be really fun coming up with combinations yourself and experimenting with them with your friends. Also, it's good to VOD review yourself like we did today, and then it'll be easier to see what you're doing wrong, and then you can do better. But as always, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel down below. It really does help us out. And that's all for us. I'm Teets, and we here at Skillcap want to thank you all for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.